Hello viewers, in today's class we are going to discuss one very important definite integral involving greatest integer function, right? And here we have to solve this integral which is from 0 to pi by 4, and the integrand is greatest integer of 100 plus sine x plus greatest integer of 200 plus sine x over 2, right? So in this lecture, we'll see how we can easily find out the value of this integral by simply making use of some concept from trigonometry and the definition of greatest integer function. So now let us call this integral as I, right? Okay, now see here the lower limit is 0 and the upper limit is pi by 4, right? So x belongs to the interval 0 to pi by 4, right? And from trigonometry, we know that when this angle x belongs to 0 to pi by 4, we are in the first quadrant, right? And moreover, the value of sine x, it lies between 0 and 1 when x belongs to 0 to pi by 4, right? So now let us consider sine x equal to some number, say a, right? So we have 0 less than a, and this is less than 1, right? So when x belongs to 0 to pi by 4, then sine x lies between 0 and 1, or in other words, a lies between 0 and 1, right? So now let us first consider this first term. So here we have 100 plus sine x, right? So we can take it the greatest integer of 100 plus sine x. So we can now write 100 plus a, right? So here we have taken sine x is equal to a, right? Now see, the value of a lies between 0 and 1. So this quantity inside the greatest integer function symbol, this quantity 100 plus a is greater than 100, but it is less than 101, right? So from the definition of greatest integer function, we can claim that the greatest integer of 100 plus a, which is greatest integer of 100 plus sine x, that is equal to 100, right? And similarly, if we take the second term, here we have greatest integer of 200 plus sine x over 2, right? Now see here the angle is x over 2. So when x lies between 0 and pi by 4, and if we divide throughout by 2, we get 0, and here we have x over 2, here we have pi over 8, right? So when x goes from 0 to pi by 8, then obviously sine x over 2, it lies between 0 and 1, right? Because we are still in the first quadrant, because 0 to pi by 8, this interval lies in the first quadrant. So sine x over 2 also lies between 0 and 1. So let us take sine x over 2 as b, right? So we have 0, and here we have b, and we have 1, right? So greatest integer of 200 plus sine x over 2 can be written as 200 plus b, and we can see that this quantity 200 plus b is greater than 200, but it is less than 201, right? So the greatest integer of 200 plus b, which is 200 plus sine x over 2, is equal to 200, right? So now we can write this integral I as integral from 0 to pi by 4, and for the first term we have 100, and for the second term we have 200, and this is dx, right? So this is 0 to pi by 4, here we have 300 dx, and we can now take 300 outside the integral. We have 0 to pi by 4, this is dx, and we can now write I is equal to 300, and integral dx is x, so we have x 0 to pi by 4, and this is 100, this is 300 times pi by 4 minus 0, right? So I is 300 pi over 4, right? So viewers, the value of this integral I is 300 pi over 4, which can also be written as, we can cancel 300 by 4. So this is 75 pi, right? So this is the required value of this integral.